Hey everybody, it's attorney Joseph McClelland, consumer advocate, and I've got some really important news for you that can make you, your friends, or your family $500 every time you've received an illegal phone call. And so, without further ado, what is an illegal phone call and how do you make the money? If you have ever told someone to stop calling you, but that business calls you back, those will be illegal phone calls most likely. If someone is calling you but you never gave them your cell phone number, that's going to be an illegal phone call. But why? Okay. When you called your friend or your family the last time you picked up your cell phone, you probably sat there and you dialed your numbers. But when a debt collector, a bank, student loans, all these big companies, when they call, they have a phone system that actually gets numbers from a database and just starts calling them. And whenever you answer the phone, if you do, they will then transfer it to an agent. And that is legal if they got your consent to call your cell phone. And that means that you never took it away by saying, stop calling me. And it means that you actually gave them consent to call the cell phone number that they're calling. So a few examples. Let's say that you did business with a cable company, Comcast, and let's say you owed them money and you cut the service and you moved about your business. And they started calling your cell phone. And so the first question you should ask yourself is, did I give them my home phone number or my cell phone? If you only gave them the home phone number and somehow they found your cell phone number, well then those calls will be illegal, okay? Well, let's say, as a different example, let's say that you gave them your cell phone number, but it was the old cell phone number because you've switched cell phone numbers since then. Well, that would mean that you didn't give them consent to call the number that they're calling. So if you've switched cell phone numbers and you're getting calls from the previous debt collector or business when you had a different phone number, those calls may very well be illegal because there will be no consent. So who am I? Why do I have the right to tell you this? And how do I even know this? Well, like I said, I'm Joseph McClelland. I'm a consumer advocate and attorney. And I'm a member of the National Association of Consumer Advocates, as well as an advocate for the National Institute of Trial Advocacy, which is a lot of words, but it means that I'm a lawyer and I know what I'm talking about. And I've handled cases like this very successfully for people in Georgia. And just by means of example, just a couple of days ago, I had a client and she had, we think, 58 phone calls, and we settled that case for $43,000. Now, as you see, I got more than the $500 there, because you can actually get up to $1,500 if we can prove that they knew they were breaking the law or they were just so reckless doing it. It basically was intentionally calling you like that. Now, these cases are real. Thousands of people across the United States file these all the time, and so that they are available to you. But there is a problem, and that is this is a federal law, and like all federal laws, they are subject to Congress. So we have a new administration in, and so next year in 2017, this law could totally go bye-bye. And so if this is you, if you have dealt with one company or multiple companies that have called you a lot, you do not want to wait until 2017 and see how things play out. You want to get this done now. And so just look, even if you only had 58 calls, this one client, I managed to get her $43,000. Now all things are the same, your case may be different, but you know, a lot of people have calls that are hundreds of calls. They called you for months and years. And so if that's you, you definitely don't want to find out what happens next year. That is not advisable. And so what's my guarantee? I do have a guarantee. Attorneys do not guarantee values of cases, but I can guarantee you this. I'm not going to charge you any money if I don't get you a recovery. So the risk is gone. You just have to help me identify who was calling and help me determine if they had the proper consent or not. Because if they didn't, we're going to nail them. So what do I want you to do? If you know this is you, and right now you're thinking back in your head, yeah, those sons, guns, I told them not to call, and they kept on calling, and now I even changed my phone number. They found my new phone number, and then they called me more, then they sold the debt to someone else, then someone else started calling on it. Boy, if that's you, you got to pick up the phone and you need to call me. And if you don't like me, you need to call another consumer attorney. That is a fantastic case. If you know that you have a friend or family who this is the situation, or probably is the situation, you're on this. If you're seeing this on Facebook, like it or share it or whatever you need to do to make sure that your friend knows that. Because again, come 2017, I'm not really sure what I'm going to say about this law, and so that's it. So if this is for you, please contact me. If you have a question, follow the link below, and you can just send me an email if that's your preferred method of communication. I'm Joseph McClelland here in Decatur, Georgia, with an office in Jackson, Georgia.